program, so we're part of the Southwest region. This is not updated, but we're one of the newest centers. There's two more that joined, I think, last year. But I will say with full confidence that we are the best one. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Good affirmations on Wednesdays. We're going to start that section later. Anyway, so far we've done 4,480 cups of coffee, which I say it every single Wednesday, but I'm very proud of this. This might seem just like a number, this might seem just like coffee, but for me, this is connections we've done throughout the years. We've done it for a couple of years now, what is it, like 3-4 years, I believe. And it's been beautiful. Actually, I was talking to Miss Ollie, which is a long person that's been coming here for a long time. And there's been a growth, and there's been a change in the community, and I love to see that. I love that there's people joining, there's people that flying the nest, going to other places, but I love to see that synergy happening here on the room. I will shut up now. So without further ado, I just want to say, please be mindful of the speakers' presentations. I will say sometimes the presentations are so good that you might not have a question, but an advice goes a long way. A compliment goes a long way, so make sure you participate. Yes, sweet bread and coffee is amazing on Wednesday, but if you don't speak up, what's the purpose? Make friends. We give you the coffee, we give you the space. Make a friend, say hi to the next one. Anyway, without further ado, I want to bring Ricardo Gonzalez. Here's our first speaker, so let's give it up for him, guys. And then you click this way for the slide. And perfect. So thank you so much.
Good morning, y'all. How are y'all doing today? Good morning. My name is Ricardo Gonzalez, and I am the owner and founder of the law office of Ricardo Gonzalez, which is a new firm here in Brownsville, actually. And so this is kind of like what my name looks like, right, on any of my marketing stuff, and we'll go ahead and get started here. A little bit about what we're going to talk about today is we're going to walk through what I do, right, what my office does, where we do it, why we do it, how we're working on getting clients, and then what lies ahead and how we're expanding our business. So what we do right now. So right now, my main focus has been working on personal injury cases. So it's been more of car accidents, 18-wheeler accidents, pedestrian accidents, right, bicycles, slip and falls, dog bites, bar fights, any type of case where somebody gets injured because of the negligence of somebody else. That's been my main focus currently, right? And so remember, on my end, no case is too big or too small, right? You know, you see a bunch of the billboard guys, you see a bunch of other lawyers, and they're like, oh, that's not worth my time. What I wanted to do a little different was that I will take a look at every single case and evaluate it as if it were me, right? As if it were me who was injured, as if it were me who needed help. And so that's something that I want to bring to the community. So where we do it. So now I have an office here downtown Brownsville. It's here on Washington Street. It's at 505 East Washington Street. Here is a photo of me walking into the office. We'll get to the mask a little bit later. But I do consults by appointment. So if anybody needs any help, you can go ahead and give me a call or send me a message or send me an email, and I'd be glad to set something up. And I'm always available to take emails, take calls, right? Also, because I am barred in the state of Texas, I can do work all over the state of Texas, not just limited to the Valley, not just limited to Brownsville, but currently I do have clients in Dallas, Houston, and obviously here in the Valley as well, and some in San Antonio too. So we can take clients from everywhere. It doesn't have to be just, limited to here in the Valley. It can be all over Texas. If you ever know of anybody who has any kind of issue, right, you can refer them to me, and then I can try and help them out. And then so why we do it, right? So a little bit about me. Here's my logo that I chose for my firm. This took about a summer to design, and it's a lucha mask, right? And if you see the crown of it, it's also the scales of justice, right? So you can see them there. And so I wanted to choose something that was unique to me and something that I loved, right? So like growing up, I used to watch a lot of wrestling, right? So I would watch the wrestling matches and stuff like that. So in my mind, I wanted to connect it to my business too. So I decided to do like a lucha theme. And what do lawyers do for you, And we fight, right? So I made that part of my slogan, right? Luchamos por ti, right? So again, on my end, I wanted to advocate for an unrepresented population, right? Like here in the Valley, there's not as many lawyers compared to like the population, right? We are underrepresented. And I, went to law school, I went to college, but I always knew that I wanted to come back, right? I wanted to come back to the community where I grew up, the community where I can make a difference, right? And that's just been part of my journey, right? And also, I do try and treat every client with respect and provide them with competent legal advocacy, right? No matter where they're from, no matter who they are, because at the end of the day, the legal profession is one that takes in people from all walks of life, right? It's not just a certain population that needs help. Everybody can need help at any given time. It doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you at some point might need a lawyer, right? And you need somebody who will treat you with the respect that you deserve, no matter how big or how small you are. So in short, right, what I'm doing, what my mission is luchar por ti, right? And so a little bit about how we're getting clients, right? So doing these types of presentations. I've done some outreach at some of our elementary schools for Career Day. We've done some school supply drives. We gave some school supplies right before school started. And then here, well, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I am wearing like a custom-made mask compared to my logo. So like it's like branding, right? Like expanding your brand, making it something different. When's the last time you saw a lawyer with a mask on, right? And then other things, other ways we've been involved with the community is I have sponsored some runs. You can see up here, I have been part of a toy drive where we gave away some pizzas and some toys. I've been helping out with some events here in the Valley, some local wrestling events. We partner with a run club, trying to help them expand as well, and then trying to help us expand as well. And we've done a bunch of collaborations here and there, as you can see. And so what lies ahead? What am I trying to do, or what I'm trying to accomplish in the coming, months, years, is expand my practice, right? So I want to expand my practice areas and start developing like wills and estate planning. I want to do more contract review. I want to help out with immigration forms, do some more family law issues, and then do more consumer protection issues as well. We are also trying to expand our brand, and the way we're doing that is we're trying a new approach to social media and then a new marketing campaign pretty much. And then also looking for ways to get involved with the community, especially some things like this. And then so here is our contact information. If y'all have any questions, you can feel free to give me a call or send me an email, and then I'd be glad to help you out if you have any issues or any questions about the business, or if you have any legal questions that you might have. But yeah, that's all I had for today. So,
Okay, guys, for
questions.
those that are new, now it's time for asking some questions. I see one over there already. What's up?
Oh, do you need the?
It sounds like you have such a big territory. How do you manage it? Being, having clients all over the place. And so, what are your biggest challenges related to that? And do you use technology to kind of facilitate that?
Good question. Yes. So during COVID, a lot of us moved to remote work, so we kind of learned how to work remotely. So that has helped out with getting clients that are not here, right? We do use technology to kind of like engage with the clients wherever they're at, right? So we phone calls, emails, text messages. If we need a video call, DocuSign, right? You send them the documents, they can sign it. Those are legally binding. So we have done some of that. How you handle them being somewhere else where you're not, right? Some people prefer a more personal relationship with their lawyers, so that's a little hard, right? So it really will be up to the client, right? What does the client want? Do they want to work in a relationship where, I might not be able to step into your office whenever, right? I can give you a call and then we can talk, but he's not able to just walk in here and then talk to me, right? So it really will depend on the client, right? So what we do is try and get the clients that are okay with working remotely, that are okay with us not being able to meet like that, right? But at the end of the day, you are getting the competent representation that you need no matter where you are. So based, if you get barred in Texas, right, you can practice law pretty much anywhere in the state. So the laws will pretty much remain the same no matter where you are here.
Okay. What do you do with the clients that you lose?
You know, so you try your best to bring them in, right? But you can't win all the clients over, right? So they might want to go to somebody else. They might just be shopping for rates. They might just be trying to see, you know, if you can give me a discount because I found somebody who'll do it for less, right? It's just like any other business, right? It's all negotiations as well from the client side too. So you'll see some of that too.
Do you have a staff? Last question. Do you have a staff that negotiates that? Do you use
So
AI for that bridge?
currently, the staff is me. So I'm the only staff I have right now. But again, we're expanding, so here we are.
Tools for you.
Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect.
Next question. Anyone else?
I just want to thank you for having the insight, coming back to this community, giving back and being part of it. Sometimes a lot of people leave and don't come back, but
Right.
if you see something in Brownsville, and get back to it. That's really great. Thank you.
Right, yeah, and so on my end, like I said, I grew up here, I am from here, right? I try and give back to the community as much as possible. Some of my background that I didn't really touch on is that I did work for nonprofits throughout law school, right? So I worked at, during law school, I worked at Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid, which is one of the legal aid, one of the biggest legal aid communities, right, in the state. And then I worked for the Consumer Protection Clinic in law school as well. And then after law school, I did some eviction defense work in San Antonio. So I worked trying to keep people out of homelessness. And then a few years after that, I worked at Pro Bar, which is a nonprofit that helps immigration youth, right? Well, it helps youth with immigration issues, and it's all nonprofit as well. And then now I have my own firm, right? But at the same time, I'm still trying to give back to the community, and I am looking into ways to expand my pro bono work and, give back.
Do you have any? Yeah, there's a question over there.
Ricardo, thanks for being here. What were some of your inspirations to get into law school, take this
Right. So growing up, again, being from this community, I didn't see many people like me become an attorney or become, something big, right? So like, you would talk to your parents and be like, oh, future lawyer, future doctor, right? But how many of those people actually became future lawyers, future doctors, right? To me, that was an inspiration when they would tell me, oh, you're super smart, you're this, you're that. But it's like, but what am I gonna do with that? Or how am I gonna get there? And then, learning about laws, learning about things, it inspired me to want to help others. And that's what I always tie everything back to, is like, how can I help others? And so that's really what's inspiring me, is how do I help others? But it's not just helping others, it's helping people like me, people from my community, people who have faced the same issues that my family did, right? And that's kind of like where I'm coming from. Go ahead.
What's your ideal client?
My ideal client is anybody, right? Like I said, all walks of life. It doesn't matter if you're poor, if you're rich, if you went to school, if you didn't go to school, if you're young, if you're old. My client is everybody. So if you have a legal issue, I will make it my mission to try and help you if I can. Go ahead.
Does anyone else have another question? Yes, there's Nadia, and then we're going over there, and that will be our last one.
Yeah, so first, I absolutely love the idea with the lab. I might ask a couple of questions after the presentation, but my question for now is, you seem like a very nice person, and I feel that lawyers are usually perceived a bit in a different way. Like, I absolutely love it. I believe that people should care not only about money, but about helping others. But do you think for a lawyer, is it the advantage nowadays, or maybe it's a bit of disadvantage where people want lawyers to be kind of tough and go and fight and like law champ, with the rules, you
Right.
believe that, oh, this person is gonna go and fight for me, and you more like, I would love to help you. So do you think it's a benefit,
Right.
or you might need to go tougher?
tougher, right? So it depends. So in my end, I'm, nice with my client, but when it's time to go and fight for my client, we turn to a different person, right? So it's like putting the mask on type of deal. It's like with you, yeah, we can have a conversation. I can try and help you. We can, try and see what the issue is. How can we resolve it? But when it comes time to actually do the work, I'm going to be a different person. I'm not going to be as nice. I'm not going to be as, amenable as I was with my clients. My clients are who I'm serving, right? So what does my client want? How can I get there? In, like, say, negotiations and stuff like that, it depends on how you perceive the adjusters or how you perceive the other attorneys, if you can get somewhere or if you can get something done. So you have to figure out different ways, different approaches of how to get there. How do you get to where your client wants to be, right? Do we have to, like, make a big stance and we're not moving from that? Or do we have a conversation and try and move it that way, right? Move forward. So there's different approaches to, depending on how you're seeing, what you're seeing, right? Depending on the case, right? Depending on the adjuster, depending on the other person. Sometimes you'll get other people on the other side that'll be just like you said. They'll be like, nope, we're not moving off of this. And it's like, okay, so then we have to match the stance or try and get them to understand how this would benefit both clients, not just mine, but also yours. So it's like, it really does depend, and you have to just gauge the situation based on your experience and what you've seen.
And then our last question on that side.
Hello.
Are you gonna handle family law cases?
So in the expansion part of what we're trying to do, right, that is something that we are looking at. So I'm trying to see more of the civil side, right? On my end, I don't plan on taking any criminal law cases, so that is not something that I want to practice. But if you do have a case like that, maybe I can refer you to somebody, or if it's something that I'm interested in, I might be able to help as well. But family law, contract disputes, landlord-tenant, immigration, personal injury, wills and estates, anything like that, that is where we're moving forward.
And then the last question, and you mentioned, well, first and foremost, thank you for accepting the invitation and for talking to us. I know it's nerve-wracking sometimes standing in front of people and be like, hi, this is me. And you mentioned a little bit how you have helped the community. But in this case, I want to switch it up a little bit and say, how can a community like this help you?
So the community can help me, like, if there's any way you can refer me any clients, that would be helping me greatly, right? But a bunch of people in the community do different things where they might help some of our cases, right? Like if you have your own business that does certain things that we need sometimes, we might be able to form a partnership where I can send you my clients and then you can send me anybody who comes in through your door, and then maybe we can start working relationships that way, right? And again, part of the expansion is also going to be moving more into, the media stuff. So like I know there is a bunch of startups that are working with AI and doing all of those things. I know nothing about any of that, right? So like that might be something where I can get some feedback from somebody and tell me, how can I help you grow your business type of thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's give it up to Ricardo. Thank you so much. That was great. Okay, guys, we have one more presenter for today. Her name is Mia Garza, and she has an amazing story in Harlingen, and let's give it up for her, please. Thank you. It's just one slide with all the photos, so you can just go this one.
Got it, okay. Good morning. I have to say I'm not super fond of public speaking, so I apologize in advance. I guess I'm gonna start with my origin, and my origin is not, one day I woke up and I'm gonna have a vintage antique store. By the way, I'm sorry, my shop's name is Modern Vintage by Jackson Street Antiques. Anyway, I did not just decide this overnight. I grew up in the business, in the industry, if you will. My lovely, loving mother is here, Carmen Garza, who's the owner of Jackson Street Antiques. Her and my father started that about 25 years ago. But we grew up with vintage. We grew up loving what was and what could still be, and the structure of furniture and how mass-produced is not the way that we want to live our life. We want to slow down, a slower pace, a creative lifestyle. That being said, we grew up with that in Harlingen, and it was a great life. We were always downtown Harlingen, hanging out, learning from other businesses, and just getting really involved with my family. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to open a business in McAllen, actually. And I said, yes, let's do this, let's try it. I loved it. It was so exciting to branch off of my, their coattails, honestly, and start in McAllen. We grew our community there, and I was still living in Harlingen, and I said, you know what, let's not do that drive anymore. Let me find a location in Harlingen, and we reopened on Jackson Street, right down the street from my family, so we kind of came back full circle. Much bigger location, larger store, and it's gone really well. We love it. So I'm going to say one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give is say yes. Say yes to any opportunity. Saying yes to public speaking. Clearly, I'm not loving it. It's not my favorite thing, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Very, very early on, maybe 10 years ago, I started getting these opportunities where they would say, hey, Mia, will you volunteer for this? Will you volunteer for that? Saying yes, 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 and kind of feeling like, oh my gosh, this is very overwhelming. This is a lot. But I said yes, and I realized that's networking. I'm networking. I'm meeting these people. They're introducing me to other people. And that's how you build your community. I got involved with the Harlingen Farmers Market. I was the vice president on the board there. That was something I was totally unfamiliar with, but I have learned and met so many wonderful people. Through that, I got more involved in downtown Harlingen with market days. I hope you all have been. If you haven't, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year, this weekend, actually. That was, I've been doing that since I was 15 in some way, shape, or form. I've been involved in setting it up, and it's grown, and now I'm much more involved. And then I'm involved with the Harlingen Art Night, which, again, I hope if you haven't been, you will come. It's the last Friday of every month. So I started getting involved with all these things and saying yes to people and kind of being that person where it's, oh, if you need something done, ask the busiest person you know. That was me. And I learned that the more you say yes, the sooner you can start saying no to things and kind of take a step back. I've built my business with great help from my family and then expanded on my own. And now I have employees, I take vacations, and I work really hard every day because I said yes to so many opportunities, things that I was uncomfortable with, like today. But here we are, and I'm meeting lovely people. And now with life, I'm able to have boundaries, saying no, hey, I can't make that, or delegating. And it's just taught me a lot through saying yes to so many things to slow down, and I've built to where I can say no. The next thing would be, I think, leading through respect and integrity for yourself first helps you with how you treat your community. You have respect for your peers through kindness and, again, integrity. Standing up for what we believe in as a business helps to inspire other people to do the same, I hope. Okay, so back to the business and kind of what we do. It is a curated vintage shop. I mostly love art and mid-century furniture, so when we decided to move back to Harlingen, we had to really differentiate between Jackson Street Antiques and my shop. Jackson Street Antiques is my mother's lovely store. Been there, it's a staple in the community, but that is a vintage, antique, a little bit more traditional styles, and I really went mid-century. Art, home decor, fun stuff, curated, vintage clothing, and it sits really well in the community. Let's see. I will also say learning is something we do every day, right? We learn as a business, it never stops. I am so far from perfect. And even just learning from Ricardo right now, hey, let's prepare, let's do a slideshow. Definitely going to do that next time, right? I learn from my mother every day. I learn from my mistakes. And I think and I was just chatting with another lady right now, how, hey, we learn from messing up, we learn from others, we learn from what they do right, what they do wrong. And I think that's something that I really think is important. Being a younger woman, 35, in this industry, if you will, I feel I had a little bit of pushback, a little bit of, okay, she's selling antiques, what is she doing? She's 35 years old. So there's been a little bit of that, and I've had to prove myself, I feel, in our community, and it's done really well. And again, it goes through saying yes and really focusing on curation and art and loving that. And I think that's about it. That's all I got. Do we have any questions? Thank you. Yes. So that's a question we get a lot. I mean, almost daily. People come in and they wonder, where did you get your items? What inspired you? And that's really what it is, what inspired me. At my shop, we have only 2 vendors, and most antique stores have booths, right? I only have 2. It's a 3,000 square foot store. So a lot of it, or most of it, is curated by what we like. And that really builds me up, I have to say. It's really nice for people to come in and say, hey, we love your store. Where did you get this? I love it. It's so different. It's so unique. So much of that is, curated by what we like. And that comes through experience, through growing up in the business and learning what my mother's eye was, what my father's eye was, my sisters, my siblings. That really is how we do it. It's really what we like, what we find. We go all over the place. I mean, we're constantly working. You know how it is being the only staff. You said that, and I was like, I feel you. I understand. Now, that being said, I do have a couple of employees to help me out while I do things like this. But it's solely on us and us to pick what we like in our stores and hope that it resonates with people. And so far, we've had a great turnaround, and it's been going really well. Yes? Fantastic question. If I'd done a slideshow, it would have been on there. It is 124 West Jackson Street in Harlingen. Of course, thank you.
Art night is always during the same street.
Art night is on A Street in Jackson, yes. And Market Days is all of Jackson Street. And that's the first Saturday of every month. Mm-hmm.
We have 2 more questions on that side and then 1 on that side.
What would you like to see Harlingen have downtown to help your business, the other businesses?
Well, I will say Harlingen, the downtown Harlingen, really supports us like no other that I've experienced. I was in McAllen for 3 years, and I loved McAllen. I loved my space, but it was not as easy to do events. It was, I had them coming down to my events, and you have to pay these fees. Harlingen is so supportive of the downtown area, the historical aspect as well. They just put in grants for restrooms, public restrooms, which is great. I would say what I would like and hope is that it just continues, the support that we do get from our community. And I hear that's the same in Brownsville. I know that the Brownsville Farmers Market gets a lot of support, and you see how that benefits everybody here. So as a small business, and downtown Harlingen, again, is primarily small business, we have great support. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a question here and then we'll go with you.
Yes.
I'm gonna steal a little bit of his question.
Yeah.
Reword it.
I like the questions. I'm better at that.
What are some of the challenges that you face that you wish you could find someone or an entity to help you with?
Some of the challenges I face, I would say, timing. And I don't know that there's much more other than myself to really do that, and I think that comes through time. I, being the sole employee or owner, it is hard, it's challenging to find the time to both run the business, curate, clean, and source. And sourcing is not something I can always do locally. I mean, I go out of town at least once, twice a month, more if I need to. So that's really a schedule, someone to manage my schedule, that would be great. But and then, you know, scheduling is so tentative. There's so many events that we do. So I think it's just time management is like the best thing that I can, the most important thing I need to improve on. And that's just something that is very difficult, I think, for most people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think you might have already a little bit touched on
Sure.
but I was about to ask, but being that you don't sell mass-produced items, I was just curious on how you source your inventory and
Yeah.
how you keep up with, like, for people like me, I love antique shops,
Mm-hmm.
so we buy.
Yeah.
As soon as we see it, because we love it, but how do you keep stock?
Yeah, it's difficult, I will say. I was very fortunate to have a very busy weekend, and I felt like I had people from Austin come in, right? And they just took all these, they purchased all these lovely pieces that I was just so, it hurt me to let them go. And I keep thinking, man, I'm never going to find those again. So, but then I find something, right? And I feel the same. So it's really just a lot of perseverance, like just finding it, trying. We do have a lot of people coming to us. Being that we've been on the street for 25 years or so, people know where to go. We also do estate sales, and so that's put us out in the community a lot. But yeah, finding that inventory is very challenging at times. We have filler pieces that are beautiful, and then we have those staple pieces that are a little bit harder to find. Furniture is always, you know, something that we will refurnish furniture. But a lot of it, again, is community, putting us out there, doing things like this, and hey, if you need to get rid of something, come to us. And it's just a lot of communication throughout. Mm-hmm. Yes?
So, I apologize.
No, don't.
How's your social media presence? Are you figuring that out? Are you having success?
Social media, you know, and I meant to bring that up. It is very challenging, right? I think for everybody, both it's all consuming, and being that I don't want it to be, I'm pretty good about, you know, putting my phone away and kind of taking a step back. However, being a small business, that doesn't work, right? You have to be on social media. I will say I have a relatively good following. I think we have the other business that has also a good following. I need to post more, right? And that's like, I do stories all day long, but the posting, I'm just like, you know what, it's okay. I'm all right. And that's terrible. I've become a little complacent.
It's about engagement,
Right.
The more that you engage, the more that you bring them back into
Of course.
the store.
Yeah.
You can sub it out.
I can, very true. And that is a challenge. You asked what a challenge is doing that, is delegating, because it is such a personal business. People come in and it is, you know, we have that conversation, we get involved, we have, you know, we make relationships with our customers, friends. And so subbing out and finding people to do certain things has been a challenge. Even hiring people is a challenge, and I get it. I'm here for it. That's what this is for. And I think that's also, you know, self-reflection is really good, and realizing like I do need to let go and find people to do things like that. And these are all things I think being humble and real self-reflecting, I think, are so important when you're self-employed, because by no means am I perfect, and it's that good, better, best, never let it rest, right? That's my mentality a lot. So it's nice to hear suggestions like that, where I may have been a little bit like, yes, I'm aware that's something I can do, but I haven't done it.
Yeah, it's like, as a small business, 16 years,
Mm-hmm.
you get stuck in the grind.
Right.
You get stuck in the intricacies of what you have to do to
Yeah.
keep it running. And sometimes it's difficult to
Yeah, definitely.
find people to partner with.
Mm-hmm.
And then also
Let go. Right, and delegate. I mean, I can tell people what to do, for sure. I can do that. Love to do that. But it is hard to, is that person going to do it the way I would? That's the part I struggle with, letting that part go. So don't do that.
Do we have any other questions on this side? We have two more, and then with the last two, you want to go first, and then we'll go over there.
Thank you for your presentation, Mia.
Thank you.
In the photos that I'm able to see,
Oh.
it looks like you have a lot of community within your store. How is it that most, or with most businesses that we see, people just go by and then they leave? What have you done in your store to help people want to stay?
I talk to them, I make them stay and talk to me. Seriously though, we genuinely, sometimes we're there and we're bored and we see somebody come in and they're looking at something that I love, and it sparks me to, hey, tell me why you like that. Well, let me tell you why I bought it. Let me tell you why you should buy it. And then just, kind of having a conversation with them, letting them know about our social medias, because, we do our stories regularly, and letting them know about upcoming events as well. And then they come back. And in my community, we have such a great community. A lot of my best friends are small business owners, and that helps. You just kind of grow your community through conversation and finding common interest in pieces at the store. And then you find that those friends also want to shop with you, which is like the best kind of life.
And then our last one over there.
Yes.
Since you have pretty unique items, how do you come up with a price tag?
So that's a very interesting and good question. I like to price things affordably, right? I know what I put into it. I know what it should be, and I know where I'm comfortable. I don't ever, with the way that the world is right now and prices all over the place, and just the fact that vintage is on the up and up, it's competitive. I want to be a affordable place for people to come and buy quality pieces. So I know, the community that came in this weekend from Austin prices are like triple my prices. They came in and they cleaned me out. Great. I know what I'm losing, but I'm also so comfortable gaining to where I get those people in our community coming back because we are affordable. I'm not saying we're not expensive, right? There's pieces, but both stores, we want things to be accessible to everybody in the community. That doesn't mean you can do it all the time, but when you do want, and we have layaways, we want to work with people, we want to get people in. I personally want people to have these nice items, these curated art pieces, furniture. I don't want them to go to IKEA and next flood, everything's gone. Like that's not the life I feel people have to live, and some people just are unaware that there are places that have quality pieces, unique pieces, curated pieces, beautiful artwork, and it is affordable. And that's kind of how I gauge pricing. Accessibility.
So then, I'll ask the last question, but I do want to say I met Mia a couple of weeks ago after I invited her.
Art night.
At art night, and I will say, although the store was packed to the brim, she took the time to have a conversation, to talk a little bit. So yes,
Thank you.
customer service goes a long way when it comes to businesses. Having that approachability and that it almost like humanizes.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's, again, something that is learned, right? And it takes a lot of effort. I learned that from my mother and my father, and they instilled that in all their children. And yeah, having a conversation, a smile goes a long way. People come in and sometimes they don't buy anything, and that's okay. They'll come back because they had a good experience. And that's really, I think, one of the differences that we try to do in our stores is give them an experience, a shopping experience, even if they don't buy. Like, let's have a conversation. We're bored too. Like, let's, again, the economy's crazy right now. Some people just want to get out. I can definitely relate. Like, I just want to go out and hang and have a good conversation, and that's something that I think we provide. I hope that's our goal.
So now, like I said, you mentioned you do a lot of events, and I see you having a presence in Partington Art Night and other events like that, but how can the community, not only in Partington, but also in Brownsville, can help your business? How can we support you?
I think definitely just showing up. Even something like this is lovely. This is a great crowd. Showing up for your community is first and foremost. I don't think it's a matter of are you spending necessarily. I think every small business understands that's not always something that people can do. But showing up to events like Art Night, which is such a unique experience in itself, market days, best market in the valley, going to things like that, supporting your local farmers, supporting your friends, making friends. It's a great way. You know, we're all so behind our screens. Getting out and doing things like that, having those conversations in person is so great. It's so easy to do. You just got to go out and hang. And who doesn't want to do that?
Awesome. Then let's give it up for Mia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
There
much.
you go.
Appreciate it. Okay, guys, I do want to mention this would have not been possible without the help of our amazing partners that we have. So the coffee was from Aroma. So if you like it, Aroma has 2 locations, one in Palm Boulevard and another one in, is it Price or Boca Chica? It's one of those 2. But they just recently opened. And then BCAC provided our sweet bread. So thank you, BCAC, for that. I do have a little activity for you guys. We are celebrating, this is our Easter special. Did I plan this? No. Did I make it happen? Absolutely, yes. So I have a little activity for you. But before we start, how many people know what RGB Startup Week is? Raise your hand. At this point, I'm going to start asking you guys to promote it more than me because we say it every single day. So RGB Startup Week is happening the last week of April. We actually start a little bit before. We're going to have a boot camp. We'll have more info about that. But if you are unable to attend the weekend before, Monday, we have our keynote speaker happening. It's already been embellished. It is Dr. Simi. So if you're familiar with the Mexican characters, Dr. Simi is going to be here talking about their expansion to the U.S. And then we have a whole week full of events happening. And then how much is the cost of the tickets? Does anyone know how much they cost? Absolutely nothing, which is free 99. Who doesn't like free stuff? If you guys have any questions, you can RSVP on rgbstartupweek.com. You can sign up for free. We are also looking for volunteers, but if you want to just be an spectator, you want to come in, this year is a little bit different. We're making sure that every single workshop, every single thing you attend, there's going to be a takeaway, either a tool, either something you can use for your business later on. Everything has a purpose. Without further ado, I'll go back to the activity. In your tables, you will see a little basket with some eggs, because sometimes I need to force you guys